All right, let's go. We're gonna try this new setup out. See how it goes. Got a new microphone wired right into the GoPro. We're just gonna test it out. So it's a nice day out actually. It's not quite sunny, but it's also like 8 in the morning here in Florida. So down in South Florida. But we're just gonna bullshit our way to work here. So let's fucking go. Alright, so yeah, I just bought a bike, a couple of riders. Yeah, man, everybody's out. It's super nice, dude. It's super nice out. So yeah, I've been riding for a little bit. This isn't my first bike, but this is my first Harley. This is my first bagger. Super big. But man, this thing is excuse me. Man, this thing is a lot of fun. Really enjoyed riding it. It's a 2022 Road Glide Special. Pretty much bone stock. Bought it with 450 miles on it, which is practically brand new. It's pretty insane, to say the least. Man, yeah, this thing is comfortable. Love the way it feels. Love the way it handles. I mean, even though it's probably the biggest bike I've ever had, you really don't notice it too much when you're driving on the road. You definitely, you know, slow speed maneuvers and turning and stuff. There's definitely takes some getting used to, especially with the stock handlebar setup. I really don't like the stock handlebar setup. So first thing I did when I got it was pull the handlebars apart and push the stock ones up quite a bit, probably like 4 inches or so, just to get a little bit more comfort out of them. And they're not bad. I'm gonna eventually switch them out to something else here shortly, but for now they work, you know. And then obviously it needs a set of pipes. I would love to get a new seat, something that pushes me a little bit back, a little bit farther back. I feel like I'm a little bit too crouched up on the bike. I'm 6'2", so I'm kind of a taller guy, but yeah, man, this thing is just sweet. I haven't really been on a bike in like 9 or 10 years, so getting back on it, especially getting back on one that's this big, is pretty freaking rad. So I feel gangsta. Feel like a gangster, but it suits me. I think. So I've been told anyway. Everybody likes the bike. I get compliments everywhere I go. You know, I don't ride a whole lot. You know, maybe to work on the weekends, and I might get a little bit of time to cruise around during the week. But you know, it's nice to be back on 2 wheels. It's nice to have something with some attitude. You know. I came from sport bikes, so here's a fun one. I wasn't into motorcycles when I was younger at all. I was like a big skateboarder and stuff. I had friends that had bikes when I got into like high school, but they always had them like, they were so obnoxious. They were always sport bikes and like straight piped and just obnoxious for obnoxiousness sake, you know. It's kind of how I feel about like the Honda Civic crowd when they, you know, they mod them and put the spoilers and the big, you know, the exhausts and all that shit. Like, don't get me wrong, I like a good sounding exhaust, but man, when that shit sounds like a bunch of marbles rattling around in a can mixed with a bag of farts, it just, you know, it sounds so terrible. So yeah, my homies would always bring their bikes by, and I'm like, ugh. But then when I got into doing what, you know, tattooing, the one of the shops I worked at, pretty much everyone there rode. So it got me. I got that itch, you know. Everyone rode. It was like the manager rode, his wife rode, his kids who worked there rode, all their clients rode, and it was just, you know, it was bound to happen. So I didn't even know how to ride, and I started looking for a bike. I found a think it's like an early 2000, maybe like a 2000 or 2001 Suzuki Katana 600, banana yellow. Yeah, or bumblebee yellow with the banana seat, you know, that one-piece seat that everybody makes fun of on the sport bikes. I didn't know how to ride, I didn't have my motorcycle endorsement, so I took my manager with me. He test rode the bike. I bought it, he rode it home for me, and then I practiced all weekend at I was living with my parents at the time. I practiced in their neighborhood because they had a pretty low-key neighborhood with a lot of stop signs and turns and stuff, so you can practice you get a lot of good practice with your, you know, with shifting and the clutch and slow speed and that kind of stuff, stop and go, whatever. And I learned how to ride over a weekend. And then instead of taking the motorcycle course, this is how janky my whole motorcycle experience was. I paid the instructor off to just write me that I passed, and so I got my motorcycle endorsement without having to take the course. And that was a big mistake, honestly. I mean, yeah, I went in and I got a lot of riding experience or whatever, but I think if you should take the course. I ended up going back and doing the course because I realized like a year in that I just didn't know, I did not know how to ride, you know. And a lot of it was just newbie shit, but a lot of it was like all the stuff that they teach you in the course, and especially taking some like more advanced courses and stuff if you want to do continuing education. That stuff was very valuable, you know. So yeah, I ended up going back and taking that, which is, you know, something that I'm probably going to do with the Harley here, is take some of their you know, take one of their advanced rider courses so I can get used to some more slow speed handling and stuff, because I think that stuff's pretty important. Yeah, I wonder if that's Trump coming in up there. We live close to Mar-a-Lago where I'm at, and that guy's always coming out and fucking shit up for us, fucking traffic up and stuff. So I work pretty close to his shop, or his place, and it's very obnoxious. So yeah, I got the Suzuki, rode that for a while, and then I wrecked it, which I'll probably talk about in another video. Wrecked that bike, tried to put it back together, and got about halfway through the project and was like, ah, screw that. Sold everything off, bought a Jeep, and rode that for a little while, and then it got to a point where the Jeep was breaking down beyond repair. I didn't take care of it, honestly. And there's also just some stuff I just didn't know about, and I didn't have the money to upkeep the Jeep. I sold that and I bought a 2003 CBR 954. I wanted an R6. Then my buddy found this 954. I think it was like maybe $3 grand or something like that. Had very low miles. Was garage kept, babied. So I ended up buying it. I didn't really want it. I didn't really want a 1000, you know, which is basically what that was. It's like a 1000, like a 600 frame. I didn't really want that, but man, I love that bike, bro. And I had that bike for so long, and it went through so many different iterations. I kept it stock for a little while, and then when I got into stunt riding, that's when it really fucked around, you know. I took it and I turned it into a big street stunt bike, you know, put the cage and the 12 bar and the subframe. I did the handbrake setup and the seats and tended the tank and did all that shit, you know. Dirt bike handlebars, I did like MX style handlebars. I had that for a minute. I wrecked that too, but that one I actually put that together. So when I wrecked that one, I decided to pull it apart right down, because not only did I like trash the bike, but I also ended up blowing the motor. So I decided to rebuild it from right down to the last nut and bolt, man. I did everything. I pulled every bearing apart, every fucking, you name it, I did it. I powder coated the frame, the subframe. I mean, this bike's so hard to find neutral on sometimes. Yeah, powder coated the frame, subframe, did the calipers, the rotors. the wheels, everything. So then I rebuilt the motor, had my boy at one of his shops to bore it out as much as you could get it going, throw some nice internals in the motherfucker, and man, that thing was sick. We kept the sprocket set up mild. I think I only went up like maybe 3 or 4 teeth in the rear and down 1 in the front, to just get that extra pop. I mean, that thing would pop up in pretty much any gear, so that was kind of wild. That was just probably one of the most fun rides I've ever had. And then I kept that for streets. I tried doing parking lot stunts with it, but for me at learning still, I had a hard time with slow speed there. So I ended up buying a 600RR that I used for a parking lot bike. Big 60-tooth sprocket, you know, no fairings, a Street Fighter setup. And I had that for a while, and then when I moved over to where I'm at now, that's when I kind of got tired of riding the sport bikes around, and I bought a cruiser. I bought a V-Star 1100, like a Softail style bike. You know, I really like that bobber look, you know. Sorry, just wanted to get it on a little bit. I don't get really many chances to just kind of crank it up. It was lowered, you know, pretty much a straight bobber style bike. Had some, like, I think it had like some 14 or maybe 16-inch apes on it, and I loved riding that thing. Pretty fun for a drive shaft style bike. I ended up getting rid of mine, all 3 of them. The apartment complex that I lived in, they were going to like an assigned parking, so I had 3 bikes and I had my truck at the time, and they wanted me to pay insurance on all of them, and they only gave me 1 parking spot. I'm like, bro, how am I gonna fit 3 bikes and a truck in 1 spot? And then, like, at the time I was like, bro, I'm not paying, like, nobody pays insurance on bikes really, especially not shitty sport bikes and stunt bikes, you know. Like, I'm not gonna fucking insure my bike, man. That's just fucking dumb. So I ended up selling them all and kind of got out of the bike game. I also didn't really have a lot of people that I was riding with anyway. I had a hard time not making friends, but like making friends with other riders that I felt comfortable riding with. Yeah, I don't know, man. So I got rid of them, and it's been 9 or 10 years since I've been on a bike, you know. I've been on mini bikes and shit, like some of my friends have dirt bikes and stuff that I've ridden around, but I get a little superstitious with riding other people's bikes and stuff, so I tend not to do that too much. I had a little CRF50, which was super cool, but I ended up giving that to a buddy. And I think I want to get another one though. I got the itch to get a little mini bike now that I'm back on this. Now I think that mini bike will kind of satisfy my craving to do some dumb shit on the bike, mainly doing some wheelies. All my friends now that they know that they've started before. I got the bagger. They're like, "Oh, you gonna wheelie the bagger?" I'm like, "Nah, dude, are you kidding me? This thing's way too nice to." You know, because I'd have to chop it up. I'd have to chop the bags and chop the pipes and chop the fender, and you know, then it's that whole learning curve of, like, you know, dropping the bike a ton. And I'm good. Maybe when it's paid off in like 30 years, you know. Hey, it's fun. This thing's nice. And that's my foray into motorcycles, and play my hood rat friends. And once I got a bike, we're all out doing hood rat shit. It's sort of what inspired me to get another one now. But my girlfriend she's not super hyped on me having a bike, but she realized that you know, it's something I really enjoy. So I got my 40th birthday coming up, and she was like, you know, you can get, you know, if you can make it work, you can go get a bike if you want to, you know. So I got a bunch of friends now that were getting baggers. Like one of my buddies, he was gifted. Somebody gave him an ultra glide, I believe. What? That's a nice gift, you know. And then another buddy of mine that in our friend group got a super decked out street glide. Thing's super cool, custom paint, all this motor work. And one of the guys I go to the gym with, who happens to be in our mutual friend group, he got a lowrider S. It just kind of spirals downhill from there. Everybody gets a fucking bike, you know. They're all asking me to get one. You gotta get one, you gotta get one. And I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna have time to really ride that much. I got my 3-year-old daughter, and you know, I take her to school during the week, so I'm not gonna be able to ride during the week. Plus, I don't really want to commute with this thing. The traffic's just nuts. So it's more of a weekend thing. I take it to work on a Saturday, and you know, like I said, I might cruise around if I got time during the week. I might cruise around out where I live, because I personally live in like a more rural area here, so there's not as much traffic, but like it's not as fun as getting up and hitting that nice cruising speed, you know. So we're gonna cut off the side. Usually I go straight to get to work, but we're gonna cut off the side and go hit the old Dunkin' Donuts here. Oh, of course. There we go. Got neutral. Woohoo! So yeah, like that way is where Mar-a-Lago is at, which is the way we're going. Hey, Popo.
Back there at Southern, I totally did not see you.
No shit, really?
When I went around that bend, I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I didn't even notice, man.
That guy cut across it and I went over. I looked, I never saw you, but I heard your engine.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. No, you're good. Have a good one, man. Oh, that's super rad. So I guess, I think I saw the guy, but I think he was merging onto the road that I was on. He said he didn't see me, so he just was apologizing. That's super nice, man. I normally don't, from my experience when I've been riding in the past, you don't really get people that are nice like that to motorcycle riders. So I also think it's a little different too when you start riding around with cameras on, because people start to be on their best behavior when they know you're recording. So we gotta be a little careful on this road. This is where all the popos hang out at here. They got the police station like right over there, and then just enjoy the ride, you know. The summer wind as my music has it going. So anyway, coming up on my exit here, we're just gonna hit this light, and then at the gas station right over there, that's where we're headed. That guy apologizing for not seeing me or really even hearing me just reinforces that I need to get some pipes, which is pretty funny because my girl thinks my bike's loud. I don't think it's loud enough, you know. I mean, I don't want to be like obnoxious, but I think I'm gonna get a set of been looking at those Tab Performance, the 50 cals, and everybody's saying to go with the zombie baffles, but I think I might just go with the medium baffles, and that way later on if I decide to cam it, we're gonna be good. Here we go. I'm gonna pull in. Hey, get that Dunkin', nice prime spot right up front. Yeah. All right, and here we go. So I'm gonna shut it down, and we're gonna have a good time. So I'm gonna shut it off, and I'll see you guys later.